welcome to the third and final game between Team Secret and NaVi for the Starladder I-League deciders. Whoever wins this does still need to play another match up against whoever wins between OG and Liquid, so the road doesn't end here, but either way, it'll be a good step, and it'll mean that they're not out of the competition. Once again, I'm Llama Down Under, I'm joined by Clairvoyance, and we've got Vengeance on stats. I feel like last game, Secret just out-executed at the end there, and they also had a draft that could certainly go further into the late game than Navi's. Do you think Navi's going to kind of try to adapt to your Clairvoyance and pick up some maybe earlier or later game heroes?
I think again the late game heroes that scale they didn't have an issue with. It was just the disables department because they were so focused on the 5-man. To the prior question, I think yes, they will most likely try to pick up more disables and deal with this first pick Ember Spirit this time. And they might actually pick the Wind Ranger to do it as well. It's still in the pool and it's something Sandy plays.
Yeah.
So it's very possible.
I would love to see that coming out of him, and since they also have Slaughter still in, it could be a nice little pickup there. So a couple options. Also, the IO again is in the pool. I don't think the IO was bad last game at all. A couple of positioning errors by Navi. Obviously, that top push really led to a lot of their downfall, but I think with, I don't think it means they can't run it again, but they're going with Dazzle.
Yeah, I guess they felt that it was somewhat of a problem. I mean, probably by the end, having a Lotus Orb as well as a Solar Crest meant that he was going to be a huge nuisance no matter how you approach the fight. So, I can understand it. I mean, the hero's really good. It's good against Ember too. The Heal Bomb bypasses the Flame Guard efficiency and HP. And of course, you have the Weave and all these other tools, the Grave. Just one of the best heroes, best support heroes in the game. Not sure if they're going to opt for the Winter Wyvern, as I would expect somebody like OG to do here. Dazzle plus Wyvern, Dazzle SF, Dazzle Slaughter, Dazzle Runner. A lot of options for sure.
Reserve time.
Yeah. So gonna kind of be waiting on that pickup, but for Team Secret, there's obviously, last time they paired Ember Spirit with the Windrunner. They might also see the SF coming through. I imagine that Navi's worried about that too. We are obviously skilled on pretty much all of the mid heroes. So, or do you think that here for Team Secret, it's actually maybe better for them to pick up something like the Bane as a support in this first round?
Again, very Palai-esque hero. It's not what they have to do, but if they want to secure their lanes, I guess they can go for it. I do think they might just pick up Windrunner again, though, if it's available. And we see art style on the side of Navi taking quite a long time on his first and second pick. Darkseer looks like it's the choice, and I think Wind Ranger's still strong, so...
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. Obviously, if the Darkseer doesn't get picked up here, it's probably going to be banned. He's one of the most popular offlaners to ban out. At the same time, it does allow Team Secret to, again, get the Ember Spirit Windrunner, and the Darkseer, he has a little bit of lockdown. He needs more. And so Navi still need to make sure their lineup has a way to catch Envy, and maybe even the Windrunner early game.
I'm almost wondering if, I know the Night Stalker's banned out, I'm almost wondering if they want to pick something with the synergy on the Darkseer. That way, where they want to just topple the Ember Spirit in lane, and there's that Huskar ban. It's the first time they let it through the second game, and lo and behold, Navi did. They went for the grab, and unfortunately they couldn't pull it out, but Secret saying in Game 1 and Game 3, saying no to Huskar. Too annoying, it makes the game too long, dragged out, difficult, with then Ancient Apparition, the follow-up as a result.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, and Navi doesn't want to fight into having no healing, especially when Darkseer always going to be picking up that mech, and then you've got a Dazzle. I'm also wondering for Secret and Navi, looking for some way to just stop people from kind of TPing away. I guess Ember Spirit and Windrunner have a lot, but for Dazzle Darkseer, not best. Although we're working in on those bans, and Slaughter is also still here, so... Team Secret, if they can get themselves a Slaughter to boot, that's scary.
I feel like Secret pretty much gave up on Slaughter as a whole ever since the Frankfurt majors. They haven't touched it like once in. I think with that said, the teams that have been running it against them have found success, and the hero's still finding a lot of success overall. I do think Secret and Navi, though, for some reason they don't seem to like that Slaughter pick very much.
Yeah, and it's funny because they actually do have a bunch of games on Misery on the Slaughter, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, he does have a 70% win rate on that hero.
Yeah, well, he played it exclusively until he lost that finals in the Frankfurt majors against OG. He played it 4 games straight and they lost 3-1, so I'm sure that ever since they switched things up. I do think Secret can go for Magnus again here. Oh, as I say that, actually, I
Yeah.
just Banta.
Again, Magnus banned out. I think, as you said, these teams scrim. They know each other's picks. I mean, the Ursa and the Magnus, not heroes that we see banned a bunch these days. So I think it's clear that these two know each other. Which I think you would expect from these players, or players that have played together a lot. So now it's Navi's turn. They can still pick up the Shadow Fiend, who somehow made it through to the second round of picks. Not something we often get to see.
Doesn't seem like Secret paid too much attention to the Shadow Fiend in this series, and again, Navi only picked it up once, but seeing as how they did lose the last game, I do think this game has a better setup for a Shadow Fiend pick in general. I mean, Dazzle is all around one of the best supports for Shadow Fiend because you just grave him up and he can do so many things in that 5-second guaranteed life. And of course, you have the Darkseer combination with the Vacuum Blink if you ever opt for that option. And it is a decent Shadow Fiend game so far, but I'm not too sure if they want to pick it. And there's the combination pick with the Darkseer, so they want to play aggressive against the safe lane of Secret.
Yeah, I do like this as well. Obviously, the Darkseer plus the Spirit Breaker is a great combo. You can surge up the Spirit Breaker, and since Bash does damage based on your move speed, it's gonna make it even rougher. I mean, Spirit Breaker coming at you with an Ion Shell, and then having that extra damage from Bash if he's surged, it's not fun. For Secret though, oh, I hear scribbling. I never know what that is. For Secret though, they can just maybe pick something strong, try to run the Ember into the Darkseer, because that might be the best bet here.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, they don't have the option to grab the Dazzle anymore. As you said earlier, the Bane is a possibility, and there it is. So it's Bane's actually one of the nicest supports against Darkseer, not only because you can just sleep him during the duration of the Surge, but the overall harassment early. It lets him deny the creeps on the Darkseer, it harasses him so strongly. And if you're going up against Spirit Breaker, you definitely need something tanky. It gives him that extra bit of tankiness.
Yeah, so clearly a comfort pick, and I'm imagining we're gonna actually see him mid for a while.
Yeah,
or
most
whatever.
probably. You'll probably start there and then rotate himself.
It's actually quite dirty. It's kind of funny because before the buffs to Brain Sap, we always used to see folks pop the Enfeeble, make sure that their mid could get a bunch of that first wave, which just starts you off so well in the mid lane. But now it's all about Bane just trading hits until he uses that Brain Sap, and we have a Templar Assassin.
Interesting. Yeah, it's the first time we'll see this hero in this game. Or in this series, rather. A pretty nice pick, I would say. I generally don't favor TA versus Ember because even though TA can always 1 to 2 shot a lot of heroes and 2 shot heroes like Ember Spirit, which are naturally squishy, the way Ember plays is he has a way to move the refraction completely and kite Templar Assassin. And Templar Assassin's greatest weakness is that it's a hero that's limited to right-clicking, very, very susceptible to kiting. And we have a Wind Ranger and Ember as the first two cores and Undying now with a Tombstone as well. So, despite the fact that the matchup might be nice for a TA or relatively easy in comparison to other heroes against the Wind Ranger, it is still somewhat of a difficult game to assassin in.
Yeah, I was also interested by this. It's something where I've talked to some of these captains after they draft, when we're lucky enough to get interviews after Starladder matches, and they always talk about how sometimes you get quote, Templar Assassin, where you kind of forget about her in the draft, and then suddenly she's there, you don't have enough picks to deal with her, you don't have ways to burn through refractions. Ember Spirit, great at dealing with the Templar, Focus Fire burns through refractions, Undying with the zombies coming out deals with refractions, and you just need to carry dust now. I mean, it's not easy, and even though maybe she can deal a bit better early with the Bane harassment, he's just gonna knock the refraction charges off, Brain Sap her, and keep smacking her.
Curious to see what the fifth pick on the Navi side will be. PL. Running it into an Ember Spirit, always a little bit risky, but otherwise very good against Bane, kills the Tombstone instantly, and doesn't care too much about the Wind Ranger until she comes up with a surprise Blink Shackle.
Okay,
pretty nice pick here.
You say a little bit risky running it into the Ember Spirit. I think it's almost, I mean, Ember Spirit, I would argue, is a hard counter to PL.
It is, but PL is one of those heroes with a few different playstyles. You can always just split push in completely alone for the entire duration of the game. And the biggest the biggest counter aspect coming out of Ember against PL is actually not the cleave. A lot of times, yeah, if you have the illusions in the wrong places, it'll cleave off and possibly kill your teammates as well. But most of the times, the illusions are stacked on a hero. And PL has multiple different ways of creating illusions, not just the Lance or the Doppel, but the natural chance of them creating illusions on their own. So it's like, it's just the fact that Ember can walk into a PL's lane, PL, which is arguably one of the strongest lane carries in the game, because of the Doppel, you just can't kill this guy and he'll just harass you. But Ember doesn't care about that because with the shield, he actually out muscles the PL damage out early. Probably why it's really annoying to play PL against Ember. You have a scenario where PL sort of can't die early against the Ember, but you can't kill Ember ever with a PL.
On the other hand, if the PL does get a better start than the Ember, like you mentioned, the PL might get up that Diffusal before the Battle Fury and a damage item is up, and then suddenly the Phantom Lance is rushing at your heroes, nobody has any mana. Ember Spirit can't actually fight with no mana.
Yeah,
so,
it's
yeah.
weird interaction indeed. Again, I do favor the Ember for sure. I mean, most of the time what happens is if they're somewhat similar on farm, and PL diffuses the Ember, removes the Flame Guard and everything, Ember just... Yeah, either Sleight of Fists all your illusions, or just zooms out with his rep. And it's basically done.
Yeah.
It just sucks to have heroes that, like, as a hero, you can't kill the enemy no matter what you do. It's just a bad... Most of the time, that's what the whole outpick thing...
And actually, the matchup is a lot closer than I thought this patch. Apparently, it's 6 wins for Ember and 4 wins for PL. So I wasn't expecting it to be so close, but well
I mean,
played.
if you're looking for a PL win, this is definitely the game setup to do it. Secret.
Oh!
As I say that, one of the hardest, oldest counters to PL in the game, the Tidehunter.
We got some Dota on our hands. So Tidehunter, let's quickly talk about him. He's an offlaner who super fell off with the change to the Ancients, right? So he just not as good, not able to do them as early with changes to him and to the Ancients. And I feel like I'm really surprised to see him here. Why is he such a great counter to PL?
The Anchor Smash is actually the thing that took him off. You know, with the Ancients, I mean, Ancients got a little bit of buff, but at the end of the day, it just probably requires 1 or 2 more Anchor Smashes to kill a stack. The biggest thing I feel is when they changed Anchor Smash, initially to bring him into the scene, they made it 60% damage reduction from all levels. Now it scales from 45 to 60, which is very, very similar to before he got the buffs, which started at 40% anyway. So that 15% actually matters a lot, because that 15% is the difference between whether the Tidehunter takes 5 damage or 15 damage, or pardon me, not 15 damage, 5 damage or 10 damage in certain scenarios. And a hero like PL, which is very, very focused on his stats early and right clicks, like the illusions will do like 0 damage.
Yeah, so let's do quick introductions. I'm really interested to see how this Tidehunter goes. I haven't seen one of those in lane in a while. We've got Weehaw on the Windrunner, Puppy on the Undying, Misery doing the backstroke on the Tidehunter. I wasn't expecting that. I know that taunt exists, but just messed with my mind a bit there. It's been so long since we've seen a Tidehunter. Envy on the Ember Spirit, and of course Paladai on that Bane.
Aside of NaVi, we do have Artstyle playing the Dazzle signature, Dendi on the Templar Assassin, Soneko on the Spirit Breaker, and Axmo again on the Darkseer this time.
Apparently it's a rather in back of the throat phlegmy Axmo or something.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to try to go with.
Phantom Lancer on the safe lane here.
Yeah, who's in a little bit of the danger zone. It's daytime, so everybody sees each other. They're just kind of looking at each other. Hopefully no one's going to be taking more than a decay. Weehaw's coming around, hasn't skilled yet. A lot of folks haven't skilled. Pretty common early in Dota, and it looks like Dichiro is just going to say, hey, I didn't want the bottom rune anyway, guys. He may even be lane trading, deciding that there's no way he wants to play up against an Undying, which I think is pretty fair.
Yeah, I think so. No way NaVi's Trialing can contest Secret's Trialing. I think Secret are just going to try to get the best out of it. Very similar to game 1 though. They could crumble if they decide to TP and then not maintain the aggression, but I imagine they would learn from their mistakes and decide to do it better this time.
Yeah. Now this will be interesting to see how Misery exactly handles this lane. It is one where while Crockenshell kind of lets you escape since it'll purge off slows and so on, it still could be rough here since they have the Phantom Lance and then they can use the Dazzle slow afterwards if they so choose. But that'll mean they have to get quite a few levels beforehand. And we can see already in the mid lane, Dendi's having the refractions burnt off. Paladai is being a jerk.
Oh, and Misery actually walked into the entire creep wave and tanked the 3-man heal bomb. Oh, you see him so low at the top lane. And this kind of start is actually really bad for him. Because Tidehunter is a sustained fighter that wants to lose his life points slowly and regain them slowly through the tango as well. But with that kind of burst onslaught coming in, it's going to be forced to play back quite a bit.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see how Tidehunter's been doing this patch. I know he was picked a few times. I feel like he was picked in Nanyang. No, he was picked in the majors, famously, with the Ice on Tidehunter, I feel, but I don't know how many times he's been picked, and I'm pretty sure his popularity had gone down significantly since the changes, so. Oh, 18 times, 11 wins, 7 losses, so we'll see if we can make that 19 or 8. And they have actually rotated Bane up top, Pylai deciding that he needs to help out this Tidehunter.
Make it a 2v2 so they can fight up the PL. Again, PL one of the best laning carries in the game, so with the Dazzle it's only going to be better because it gives him more targets for the heal bomb.
Yeah.
In the meantime, bottom lane, it is the Darkseer Spirit Breaker dual lane here. Undying is just so good at fighting up against dual lanes. He's already got 4 stacks of decay. He's going to man fight Soneko here.
Yeah, and Soneko, I mean, what do you do? It's an Undying who's hitting like for now 83 damage per hit. It's not great. I don't think he's got a good way to deal with that. Also, in mid lane, Dendi doing a great job of catching up despite the early pressure. He's now out denying Weehaw, and he's pretty much back up on CS if you include the time that Bane had spent there. So much that it looks like Pylai is headed back middle to help him out.
DD this time, so Dendi really have to watch out.
Yeah, but again, he has a couple of refractions that'll eat it, and if he can get some creeps under his tower that way, manages to pop up the refractions, doesn't eat the DD.
It'd be so annoying. Second game, this kind of treatment at middle. Just so annoying to have Banes coming in, trading, and you know you're not going to win the trade because of the brain sap and his base stats.
Yeah. Something else I feel like on this top lane that can be really rough for Misery is they can throw a lance and then of course heal the illusion. Actually, he's trying to go in. He looks like he wants to use that anchor smash, but he has to be careful. The heal has been used. Pops a mango though, and he manages to get the charge forwards for Dichira. He still needs a lot of damage, and yeah, he gives up the chase.
He has one more lance, but in terms of an executing blow, they'll have to time it nicely with the heal bomb. Otherwise, they're not going to get. If you saw him on the chase, actually, Dichira, his hero did like 10 damage a hit to the Tidehunter, the anchor smash as well as the Kraken shell. Yeah. That's why the Tidehunter is so good.
So, gonna be Dichira topping the net worth chart. Oh, sorry, topping the last hit chart, which will also be the net worth chart since we don't have any kills. And also doing pretty well MV on bottom. Despite this being a really rough lane, he's doing great, I would say. And the charge, it might land. He does manage to get the searing chains onto those two. That was completely luck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That was... If he didn't get that chain off, there might have been a second shell on Darkseer.
Yep.
And speaking of which, he actually goes down.
Yeah, I thought Arkmore with the surge away had got it, but instead, the brain soul rip comes out. That's more than enough to pick him off just because of the amount of units in the area. So Arkmore going down, and that's going to be a first blood, and this is really helping MB out. He's already not having as rough of a time as we expected in that lane. And now getting a kill to boot. Also, Misery has a lot of CS. I mean, I know it's easier to CS with that anchor smash, but I didn't expect him to be doing so well. What is going on with Puppy? He is in the danger zone, but they can't quite make it connect. And now here comes Envy. He's trying to give it a go on Soneko. Where is the brain tap already being used? They have a nightmare as well. Searing chains this time, not so lucky, but Pylai died. 5 more seconds on his brain sap. There's going to be the charge away on Soneko. Now they might be able to turn around on Akmo. But he uses Surge, Envy's coming in, has the Searing Chains, gets them onto Akmo, there's gonna be a Brain Sap, and there's another kill, and Secret looking like they're in a great position. Envy's actually still trying to go for this kill. I'm not sure that they have the damage, and with the charge away, it's gonna be just fine for the Spirit Breaker.
Nice 2 kills for Secret. With Puppy getting gone on earlier, he gets out, and be able to port back to any lane he wants, now with Boots as well as Magic Stick. The ward situation, however, looking like NaVi has the better end right now, but that's because Pylai has been so occupied at bottom, trying to win that engagement. And sure enough, he did. Time well spent.
Yeah. At the same time, Dendi now winning the mid lane firmly. I kind of wasn't expecting him to win this matchup so well, but obviously it is really hard for the Windrunner to harass someone with refractions.
I mean, with refraction, it's like you have like double the Windrunner's damage on the crease. It's like at one point you're just not gonna win. You just have to kind of forfeit the lane to an extent. Just spam your power shot and get as much CS as possible. Possibly stack the woods. Unless there's a gank or something, you're just not going to burn through the refract.
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised it does. Oh, okay, Misery takes another big heal, but he's going to be fine. He already has Arcanes up. I was going to say, Initially, I was expecting maybe they would need Bane to stack a little bit for Misery since this lane felt like it might be a bit rough, but he's doing just fine. Dendy, he should have refractions on cooldown, but he's stunned up instead, manages to get the tombstone and the refractions off, so Dendy is just gonna wander away in alt style. Oh, someone's getting themselves a big tombstone bounty. They actually deny it. Well played from Puppy.
Yep, Puppy not willing to give anything back to his former teammate.
I actually think it's a really important play. I think it's 75 gold at level 1, or it's level 2, so maybe it's 100 now. I think it goes up to 125. Either way, it's actually quite a bit of gold if you keep giving away those tombstones. And it's just something you don't need to be giving to the mid who's already ahead. We can see that Dendy is doing quite a bit better than the Winderner.
Yeah. Just a matter of survival for Dendy right now. There's a charge coming in now because they saw the opportunity with the win run, but he has an Invis rune and Dendy's gonna drop from harassment, but this is
oh, he actually gets out of the Invis rune. Now here comes Puppy. He should have tombstone. No, 13 more seconds, so it feels
there was no
like...
kill happening here. Not enough disabled, only a bit of right click damage from both.
Yeah. It does feel like this game, Seneko, he's having a lot of trouble making the Spirit Breaker work in the same way that he did the Night Stalker. Obviously, they're different heroes, but he's having such a hard time making it latch. He keeps trying to charge onto Envy as well, which I feel like is a questionable decision since he can pretty reliably, unless you're charging through your own creep wave, he should be able to get the Searing Chains on you before the charge hits.
And he has demonstrated to do so in the past, so I think right now he's just doing it for mobility. I think he realizes that the Navi's lineup don't have potential for kills. With a Templar Assassin as the PL, they're very lane centric and very passive to an. So unless he's nearby with the Darkseer, or just pulling as he's about to do now, he's not really gotten much of a.
Yeah. So Misery gonna be having a blast up in top lane still, doing really well. Same number of blast hits. Okay. Well, yeah. Apparently we don't have any matches this patch between Tidehunter and PL, so we'll see if it still works out. Gonna be a nightmare onto Dendy, but Dendy's bottle is on the courier. Okay. Oh, and I need to go offline quickly. Dun 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 dun. Okay, there we go. Now, there are 4 heroes for Secret fostering in this mid area. I don't necessarily think it's wasted, but I feel like this is something they tried to do last game really early on when they had the gank that took Dendy's stacks as well. But I'm not quite sure how good it is again, because I do feel like Envy can benefit a lot from just farming.
So Nako's going in on top on Misery.
Yeah, there is a Ravage ready, but he just actually ends up poking him and getting no extra damage. DJ Rod didn't have the mana for a Lance, and with no mangoes left over, he just gets it now. But he couldn't throw that out. I think if he could throw that out on Misery, of course, you can get a kill. You can throw the heal bomb out afterwards onto the illusion.
Paladin position.
Yeah.
Was somewhat of a hard task.
It's a kind of really weird game. I was expecting with a Spirit Breaker for it to be more action-packed, and also with the Tidehunter, I feel like it's really advantageous for you as the Tidehunter to blow your ultimate early, because you're probably not getting a 5-man Ravage off in the first 10 minutes of the game. Why not just use it the moment you get it? But Misery may just not see any opportunities to get kills with it.
Yeah, I mean, he's going up against the Dazzle PL. It's somewhat hard to walk into them because of the heal bomb potential, and he didn't have that much lane sustain, so he's gonna get a little bit more now with the Ring of in lieu of a Mango. I think he's actually gonna looking to sit around base. No, I thought he was gonna sit around base to finish Tetris, but he's gonna walk out for the time being. And again, it was probably an issue of sustain as well as the fact that his only playmaking partner, the Ember Spirit early on, was just very content at bottom lane. And as you can see, the result, Envy top of the net, top of the CS board, pretty much top of the net worth board as well. Almost got his bots.
Now I have to say I do like this. We can see Misery, he's coming in bottom. While, again, Darkseer not the easiest to kill, it's certainly something. And Weehaw, taking a Meld Strike, finally pops that window, and Dendy's gonna wander away, but now gonna just pound a little bit into Puppy as well. So Dendy really beating the pants off this Windrunner. What you like to see. And now Achmo in this bottom lane. Maybe gonna take a Searing Chains to the face. There he goes. The Surge has been used. Are we gonna see the Ravage? I don't think they even need it, but they should use it for funsies. No, actually, Akmo, he'll burn down. So not gonna be seeing Misery using that, and at the same time, up in top, we have TP rotations because DJ Ra and Oddstyle doing good work on damaging up this tower.
Nice of Envy to rotate here. He's got bots and 100 gold, and when he has the Ember Shield, he's gonna be able to clear out the creep wave without DJ Ra's response as well. So in the meantime, because his shield is on cooldown, DJ Ra is gonna try to.
Yeah. All in all, it's a pretty even game. There's about a 1,000 gold lead coming up for Team Secret, but that's something that one team fight can really turn around. And since Dendy's farming so well, unfortunately, the Ancients have now been blocked out, so he's not going to be able to fall back on that. We have a Fiend's Grip coming out onto Dieter. He, of course, will have Doppelganger the moment this ends. Instead, the Shallow Grave comes out. He's also invisible. He's going to doppel to the low ground, but here comes Envy. He wants that. The Ravage comes out. They manage to catch up Dieter. Now, Seneko, he's caught in a bad position. Shackle latches on the dead body, and that's going to be it. But Envy, he's looking for more. They've got an odd style. Envy with the shackles, power shot to finish him off. Okay, Envy is seriously lucky. He again got a shackle in. There were other creeps around that could have taken that.
Power of the Envy spirit. He's already got his bots at 11 minutes, much earlier than before, and what a way to start the game with 0-6 in favor of Secret. Things are aligning for them right now.
Yeah, a much better start than in Game 1, and certainly more explosive than in Game 2 as well, and they're starting to pull ahead. I really like that first usage of the Ravage. They're coming back in, though. There's going to be a charge through all of them. Envy not able to stop it this time. Here comes Dieter as well. He's got Lances aplenty. The Heal Bomb has already come out now. Puppy, he does have a Tombstone in 10 seconds, but I don't know if he's going to live that long. He's a very tanky hero, but they have a lot of stuff going on him, and one Lance will finish the deal. So we'll be seeing Envy off to the side, just efficiency farming. Gonna actually give it over to Misery while he probably pops home to pick up those shoes and get healed up some more.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Then he does farm up mid, and Weeha in the bottom lane, both cores farming up. I'm glad both heroes left their lanes. I mean, Weeha was top just now. Damn, Dandy at mid.
Is under attack.
Yeah, he is receiving the end of a bit of a gank. Now, he will have refractions up in 6 seconds, but they've got about 3 there. There's going to be the weave coming out. He gets shackled, actually. They drop the wall as well, and now Dendy, he's just trying to run away. Can his team save him? The wall not seeming to zone, and I think zombies may end up killing him, but with the meld, he gets away. We've got a Fiend's Grip onto Seneko on the other side. He goes down now. Axmo has to wander away. It was a really nice wall, but it wasn't enough. That should have shackled, I think, but Odd Style, can he get himself away? He doesn't have Shallow Grave. He throws out the heal. One more auto attack will do it. And NaVi, suddenly it's 1 and 8, and they are very much falling behind.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Looks like mid tower is going to go in favor of Secret as well. I mean, the Templar Assassin cannot hold this right now, and they really need the PL. PL is actually coming in from the side. He's picked up the treads. He's got 1k gold, and maybe he'll be able to make...
Yeah, they are forced to kind of pull to somewhere near this wall. Here comes Dieter. He's going to throw out the Lance onto Misery. Misery doesn't have that ult for another 10 seconds or so. And Dendy, they're transferring the Nightmare off of him. He does have a little bit of refractions, but another beautiful Shackle Shock. Seneko taking a lot of damage. And again, will we be seeing him go down? The Shallow Grave coming out arguably a bit early, but he should be down anyway. Searing Chain stops the TP. He's going to fall. Tombstone at the ready. And it's looking disastrous again for NaVi. This Shackle doesn't latch out. Axmo trying to get away. The zombies, of course, are slowing him up. Sleight of Fist Searing Chains doesn't latch from Envy either. And that should be the end of the engagement as folks decide to back on out.
Oh, that second Sleight of Fist in pain there. The Ancients, I think that was a ping related thing, because his Sleight of Fist was extremely short.
Yeah.
Sleight on Soneko when he was TPing out, very lucky again. A lot of different targets that the chain could have gone on, but unfortunately for the side of NaVi, they haven't been getting the better end of that luck so far, or that dice roll rather.
Additionally, NaVi tried to take a fight there with the Ravage down, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, they can't break Secret's lineup 5v5. Their heroes just are not strong enough. The only thing NaVi can do with the PL pick, I thought the philosophy was to split push and just ignore the fight, and I think they should just opt that. They cannot fight into Secret. Ravage or no Ravage, it's just not happening in this game.
Yeah, and while Dendy's doing a good job of topping the net worth chart, we're almost 3,000 net worth behind on NaVi, 3,000 experience as well. The experience almost more worrisome because when we take a look around, you've got heroes like Dazzle, and Seneko's not even level 6. Dazzle just hit his 6, versus Bane is 7, Undying is 6. I mean, Flesh Golem, often something that's not talked about, but it's a hugely powerful ult, especially in these engagements.
Definitely amping up everybody's damage.
Yeah.
Especially with heroes like Ember and Windrange, and just get in there in the middle of the fray and dish out all their spells.
And
Speaking
it feels
of the
like
Windrange
these are...
again, Weeha's shackles have been so on point. One of the reasons why you really have to fear this guy's Windranger play.
Yeah, it does feel like... We've talked about it before. Shackle always, you know, people have seen the shackles that land, which maybe shouldn't, but we are doing a great job of it, and they should be able to get themselves an early Roshan, even with folks knowing about it. They've got a good amount of armor reduction coming out, and of course, yeah, looking like they're gonna be getting themselves an early one. So, of course, Weeha also has a DD. Let's not forget about those luck runes. So, Not sure that they can contest, and as you said, maybe you just try to sit back and get Dichiro some farm. It is true, I think, that if the Phantom Lancer can pick himself up, he is a scary force.
Middle tower is under attack.
However, at this rate, I think Envy's gonna come online before the PL, and it's always something he has to watch out for. Again, the Ember Spirit scales so nicely against Phantom Lancer in general.
Yeah,
Oh, and he's
Oh
about
no,
to
we
die.
have a Fiend's Grip I hear on Dichiro. He's got the Shallow Grave, but with the Shackle, he's going down. And goodbye. They actually missed the power shot, but, you know, he casually getting those Searing Chains off, and he gets another kill. I mean, we saw NaVi perform so well in game 1 and 2, and this last one, unfortunately, looking to be a bit of a stomp.
So far, it definitely does. I mean, this TA versus Wind Ranger at mid, again, I really doubted the potential. Templar Assassin against Wind Ranger. You need so many items to fight the Wind Ranger. It's actually so annoying. You can't burst her down ever with the Wind Run, and you need the blink to usually get on top, and even then, I might just get shackled and turned on. So, just too many tools that they need this game to be able to break Secret, and so far, they have none of it.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they have any good sort of high ground defense either. I mean, what are you going to do? Throw Lancers at the creep wave? Your options are really bad for this lineup of NaVi. So, MV coming in now. Let's see if he can get off another one of those Sleight of Fist Searing Chains that we all love. He gets it, of course, on Art Style again. Puppy also going to do a little bit of follow-up. They have the damage to hold this, I think, and they're doing a good job of trying to trade up top. Now, a nice thing about pushing high ground for NaVi, saving their high ground, of course, is it does make the wall vacuum combo a little bit easier for them to land.
Secret looking pretty dominant in control so far. They smoke. It looks like they want to rotate top. I don't think Axmo should get picked off by this one. I mean, there's Dendi here in the woods as well, so maybe he feels a little bit comfortable, but Heroes just went completely missing. And looks like he is going to get picked off.
Oh no, Searing Chains comes out, Dendi TPing away. Dendi manages to get out, but goodbye on the Axmo. Or an Acmo, and yeah, he still hasn't even finished his mech. I mean, his lane wasn't great. Okay, there, it just comes out. He finishes the mech, but he is behind. It's feeling like all of these heroes on NaVi are behind, and they're in no position ready to fight. And not to mention, they've been losing these fights before the Ravage is even coming out. I mean, Misery hasn't even kind of showed his true power. He's casually got up a mech. He's gonna have a Blink Dagger soon. I don't know how they hold their high ground.
It's just the pick itself was so complimentary. Without thought of
mid, yeah, we have some action. We have the Nightmare onto Alt Style. They're just desperately trying to get this tier 1 tower. Now we've got the Fiend's Grip onto Alt Style as well, and they're not even going for the tower here. I feel like NaVi, they definitely wanted to get out, make sure they weren't in danger, but they just lost a tower in bottom. They get the mid tower denied, at least that's something. But they also lose Alt Style, and they're just hemorrhaging right now.
Yeah, they're really bleeding hard, and again, it has a lot to do with this Tidehunter 5th pick. Something that can fight up against the PL Dazzle alone, against such good laning heroes. Still scale. Now that he has the mech, he's actually able to walk into them non-stop, and whatever onslaught of damage that NaVi can throw at him, he'll be able to burn it back with or bring it back with the mech, and always get off a decent Ravage as a result. The 5-man coming out of Secret, NaVi cannot fight this.
Searing Chain, Sleight of Fist, Envy gets it again. He's actually backing out, but there is a DD on Weehaw, and he has his Aghanim Scepter up, so suddenly his damage output quite scary. And they may just high ground here. We could be seeing, after such wonderful long games, a 25-minute Rax or something coming out. Weehaw pops that DD, use that ult, and now let's see what NaVi can do. They've already popped the weave on some of those heroes. Seneko de-wards their high ground ward, but Envy, he just blinks in, he gets out the Sleight of Fist. He actually takes a lot of damage. Envy needs to back all the way on out. They use the mech, but Misery, he still hasn't popped that ult. A wall vacuum, but the wall a little bit too late, and now Dichiro, he's making a lot of illusions, but again, we can see Misery just doing quick work on them. Here comes Envy, there's gonna be the Ravage hitting everyone. Alt Style, he gets healed up himself as well, but they've already lost the Phantom Lancer, and that was the majority of their damage. The Neko tries to get off that Nether Strike, but it's too late. Envy, he remnants away. There's a charge through the middle. Weehaw taking quite a bit of damage. Finally, the Nether Strike comes out onto him, and Axmo trying to do this physical damage, but Dendi, he can't do anything else. He has no more refractions than Akmo. He's gonna be falling, and this is gonna be a 20-minute Rax in favor of Secret. They didn't lose anybody in that engagement.
Really looks like Secret's back for the time being, but again, just no wave clear, no real tools to fight up this 5-man, strong heavy 5-man coming with the Undying as well as Tidehunter on the front lines. So much aggression, so much damage coming out on the side of Secret, and it looks like they want to continue their efforts to mid now.
I mean, I don't think they have any reason that they need to stop with this Darkseer not only being on the deck, but the fact that he doesn't have the wall vacuum combo even after he's up. What's scary for Secret? And they're taking these engagements with or without the Ravage. Tombstone dropped. It's looking like a quick loss for NaVi. Their lineup just did not come online fast enough. Oh, it's gonna be a shackle onto Hostile. They have the damage, and there's gonna be no time for that shallow grave. He's waiting for it. He gets the cast. They're backing out on Secret. They've caught Dichiraldo with the Fiend's Grip. Can anybody save him? They're trying to do some work onto Pilaidai. It looks like this may be the exit of Secret, although MB, he's just recharging. He may end up coming back in. A shackle doesn't manage to latch. A charge through really nice onto Weehaw, and they vacuum people back into it as well. Pilaidai taking a lot of damage from Dendi. Can they finish him off? But here comes Envy with the Searing Chains. Misery ready to get back up in their faces, and Pilaidai is still so low. He finally burns out to Akmo's Ion Shell, but now Dendi, he has to go into the meld, realizes there's a sentry down, seeing him. He just needs to do damage to someone, and finally the wall is back up. They take out the raid boss that is Envy, and they're still trying to fight. Of course, they have creeps coming into the base in the bottom lane as well. Misery should maybe go down here. They finally pick him off. Big heal bomb. Weehaw also on the sidelines, but has that wind run available anytime she wants it. Might not be able to use it if they can hold her in place. There she goes, wind running away. They do have another charge in 6 seconds. She blinks up over because the courier delivers that. And looks like with that, she'll be out. Dendi, at least, finding something here. So a big turnaround for NaVi, but we're going to see there's still probably 10,000 net worth behind overall. And Weehaw just coming back in, gets the shackle onto Dendi. Shallow Grave comes out in time. There's also a tombstone down. Dendi needs to get rid of these zombies, and it looks like they'll be fine, but it probably means that Sharklo actually, Seneko, managing to get out there, and Dendi, he stops his TP? Doesn't matter. I think it means that Altcel's going to be in a lot of trouble. The shackle shot doesn't manage to hit Dendi, turning around, doing a lot of damage, and Weehaw, he actually used the wind run to catch up there. A big kill for Dendi, getting that mega kill streak coming out, and now Pilaidai, he's in the danger zone. They do have refractions up for a little bit longer. Brain Sap not going to do enough work.
No,
Can they catch Puppy as well? Oh goodness, Seneko, he's going hard. He's seeing if he can lock down Puppy. He has the Nether Strike in 5 seconds. He gets the bash, but Dendi, I think, calling him back, saying, we won't go for this one. We've already won enough. And out of nowhere, Dendi getting a bunch of kills.
Yeah, Pi actually had a Gold Scepter. So he clearly forgot the fact that he had a Gold Scepter. He would have survived that 100% if he clicked Gold Scepter, but it is what it is. Envy's coming in hard now, I get.
No, he just remnants out.
This is under attack.
A lot of action since the middle lane push there, and again, Secret looks like they lost a couple kills, but I imagine when they gather properly, take a moment to breathe, and let Envy actually finish up his Battle Fury. I'm not even sure if they'll need it, honestly. If they do opt for that option, they certainly take the push with the Strip Force afterwards. In the meantime, Dendi is in the highest net worth now. He's got a BKB completed. And again, I think a lot of that has to do with the follow-up at the end there. If Pilaidai didn't die, he might have been able to kill Dendi. Unless NaVi responded fast enough, and it looked like with Tidehunter there was a chance, or Tidehunter, but I think it was actually dying. There might have been a chance with the urn as well, but again, killed her.
On the other hand, Secret with that push gold, because you get a lot of gold from destroying a Rax and a 2 tier 3s. Tidehunter has finished up Guardian Greaves, so this team getting harder and harder to kill despite the minus armor coming out of NaVi. Puppy, as you said, Urn, Vlad. He's also got a casual medallion to help out his team, and we can see that Bane also, I think, is working towards an Aghanim Scepter.
With the point booster, I don't see too many other options. Don't know about that one, honestly. I think it could have just gotten like a Glimmer Keep or something.
Yeah, it does mean that it's really hard for people to attack him without also having BKBs active and ways to stun, and Dendi is actually just outside this sentry. He is living life in the danger zone, I believe. So
would have been nice to actually spot him out with that sentry. Would have been pretty interesting to see how Dendi reacts. He didn't have TP up, but he had a BKB, so he starts running away, gets gripped. In the end, he doesn't get spotted out and kill himself, therefore they should be happy with that one.
Dazzle's picked up a gem. This does mean that suddenly NaVi have a lot of map vision, which is really great for them, and they've dewarded a lot of Secrets wards in their jungle and so on. At the same time, when we talk about hero scaling, I'm really worried for NaVi. I would agree that heroes like Undying and Bane, Undying maybe doesn't scale as well, Bane, since he always disables at least one hero. I think that's fantastic. And will this Smoke Ink latch? Oh goodness, Dendi. There's going to be sentries dropped. No, do they not have any? Oh, okay. Well, Dendi Yeah, they have no detection. Dendy, unfortunately, is stuck here forever since he also doesn't have a blink. So they're just gonna fly something out. Misery just gonna splash, be splishy splashy. Can Dendy get his team up here in time? Obviously, the charge is coming out. They're working away on Dendy. They're reducing his damage. There's gonna be a weave, but Secret says, we don't care. We're gonna fight into you. We don't mind. We got the Ravage. We got the blink. We got everything. Dendy, he pops that BKB. He's giving it a go. Pilot Die remembers to go Scepter, and immediately the Fiend's Grip turnaround. Weehaw has blown up Art Style. They've also managed to use the Ravage. The wall is down, but they needed to pull people through it, and it's not looking like it's enough. Dendy now fighting without refractions. He'll have them up in 4, but he has to back out until then. Tombstone has been taken down by Dichira at the same time as there's a charge onto Misery. Dendy, he's using the Melt Strike as best he can, but it looks like he's going to fall, finally going down to that Soul Rip. Dichira using as much as he can out of his illusions, but it looks like he's in a bad spot as well, and it may be a 5-man team wipe if Dichira can't get something out of this, and he goes down.
Could be worse.
Yep. Nice Ravage coming in by Misery, was able to push up the Dark Seer combo. And of course the kill on the Art Style early on with the flank from the side, it's really nicely done. Again,
Yeah.
NaVi, they just don't have the tools to 5-man up against Secret, and what they try to do in saving Dendy there was actually just a nice bait planted by Secret, because as long as Dendy stayed there, Secret was intent on staying as well.
Yeah.
But they knew if the fight happened in that exact location, they were gonna come up no matter what.
Yeah. Now we're going to be seeing them walking in on the racks for Secret. Let's see what they can do. The Shackle latches onto Saneko. He gets Shallow Graved up. Can there be any sort of follow-up? Art Style now being worked on by MV. They actually managed to get Saneko out, so they'll have a charge for later days. But again, a lot of their damage deal is on the sidelines for another few seconds, especially Dendy. They do manage to glyph it. Weehaw, of course, does have that ult. Can they stop him? They're throwing out the charge. Misery, of course, doesn't have that ult since he already used it. There's going to be the blink away. They're throwing out Lances onto Pilot Die. They go for the Nether Strike. It's going to hit on Misery. Pilot Die manages to Nightmare himself up. He's still taking a lot of damage with the vacuum back. I think they're doing it, but they have to still deal with this Tombstone, and in comes Envy doing a lot of damage. Dichira trying to work on the Tombstone while Weehaw still picking away at people. He wants to catch out Axmo, but he takes a big Melt Strike to the face, and Envy, he's working in on the backlines. He picks off Axmo with that steering chains. Now Puppy, he's probably going to fall here. Takes a lance to the face. At the same time, Envy has just TP'd away. So while it's definitely a 2-for-1, again, they lose Axmo, who had the wall vacuum combo at the ready, and he's just not able to make that latch, and we can see that NaVi is falling further and further behind, even if they take a favorable engagement. If they can catch out Weehaw here, this will be huge. The Shackle goes out onto Saneko. It doesn't quite latch. He still has no Nether Strike, and now with Envy coming in as well, is Denty gonna try for the Roshan? They'd have to kill off Envy first. I think he's gonna throw out a Remnant, and there's gonna be the charge away. I think that has to be the end of the engagement. It's really risky for NaVi here.
Oh, and Envy's going straight for Art Style. He doesn't have a TP.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to probably take a Sleight of Fist, and there we see it go down. So, not too great for the lineup of NaVi, especially as Envy just remnants away. I mean, we haven't talked about it too much, but beyond this Spirit Breaker with the charge and with the Nether Strike, they again tried to pick themselves a very Disable Light lineup, and it's really not working out.
Product of not doing as well as they wanted to in the early game. Again, they did a lot of work on the side of Secret at bottom lane in the initial stages. The Undying and Ember netting some kills that I'm not too sure if they should have.
Saneko
there's a fight
going...
at top.
Yeah, Saneko taking a lot of damage at top. He keeps trying to use the Nether Strike. He finally gets it off. He actually charges through the creeps, but one Sleight of Fist is going to be more than enough, and Envy has picked him off. Windrunner has the Aegis again, and I mean, if it's anything like last time, this is another easy set of racks for Secret.
Should be. Fortunately for Dendy, he doesn't have anything close to his MKB. Probably really needs to. He's got a DD and he's got a BKB. Probably the best tools he's gonna have for this fight. I guess you can say he has buyback as well, although I'm not sure how much that matters.
What do NaVi need to get back in this? Do you think there's any way? Do you think it's all just in Secret's hands to make a mistake? Oh my gosh, Misery doing the
I think it's Secret's hands
backstroke.
to make a mistake for sure. There's Tidehunter's coming in with 2k life points. There's an Aegis. It's so many things to fight.
Okay, we're going to be seeing the beginning of the fight. Dendy has popped his BKB. He's working in a beautiful wall vacuum. The wall a little bit late, but there's going to be a nice charge through. Can they pick up Misery before he pops that ult? No, they don't quite manage to get him. And Envy, he is still just causing a lot of problems. Saneko goes down on the back lines. Envy, oh, he does so much damage. And there goes with the ult coming out of Misery. It's going to be a beautiful Ravage. Dendy caught out as well. Doesn't matter that he has a DD because he is dead. The buyback from Saneko. Dendy as well. But those are the only two buybacks on the team. And we can see, unless they've got some magic up their sleeves, I don't know how these two take it. I think the only saving grace is that this tier 2 is still alive, but Secret looking in dominant position to end this game.
And honestly, that was pretty much the best fight that Navi could have asked for. Now Danny's gonna get caught up. No BKB, and he's probably going
Oh
to
gosh,
go.
and they have a gem. That's it, I think, unfortunately. That may be the GG, and they call it.
Again, it's just play this game like Secret would play this game normally. They did really well in their lanes. Even Misery on the safe lane alone against the Dazzle as well as the PL did a lot of work. This is the result you have with Secret coming back in full force. Maybe they're back.
Yeah. So, either way, a really great showing by both of these teams. They definitely brought us really exciting games. I was very excited to cast it. Once again, I'm Llama Down Under. I was joined by Vengeance on Stats. You can check out his Twitter handle up here. And also, thank you so much, Clairvoyance, for co-casting with me. You also now stream on Twitch, right?